Now you know. All right, guys. So recruiting, you guys are all here to learn about it. Yeah, like I was saying a second ago, it's the topic everyone wants to improve on. I feel like it's the topic that most people, or at least it's the area that probably feels the most intimidating. I think back to when I was getting started here with Q, I was excited about what we could do here, but I didn't want anyone to know about the business. Like, that's how scared I was of sharing this in the system that we share it. And I know we have, that chart that we, oh gosh, this waiting room's blowing up still. I'm like so scatterbrained. I'm really not good. Oh, looks like Sean's call maybe just ended. Maybe I'll wait like 30 seconds because I'm like a squirrel, folks. Like, there's serious like ADD over here. Okay. Still going. Okay. So wait. Oh, maybe we'll wait like 3 minutes. Good. I'm glad you guys made it in. It was like a floodgate. I was like, we're ready to go. And then bam, the participants doubled. So guys, please use the chat box. Let us know where you're tuning in from. The coolest part is, I know everyone kind of comes from like different parts of the team and, different areas. Guys, some of the coolest people I've met in this business is sideline. It's the people that you are both a part of Q and you're living in the same city, the same state, and you get to link arms and collaborate. I've made some really awesome friends here in Boise who are just sidelined to us. And we get to bring a lot of credibility to our local market by doing things together. There's massive strength in numbers. And so if you see someone from the same city, state, country, and you don't know them, shoot them a little like private message where you don't have to message to everyone and say, hey, we need to become friends on Facebook. We need to connect. That's the beauty in all of this. Arizona, Debbie, got Canada. I need to make it to Canada. I've never been there. Actually, I went to Toronto for like a day. I celebrated my birthday there. But I feel like that's probably not the heart of Canada. Guam, need to make it out there too. All right. Okay, now that the small talk's done and we're all in here. So guys, recruiting. We're talking about a topic that I know scares a lot of us. And I know in the recruiting process, it can oftentimes, like, it's hard to play it cool because it's like, I don't know what to say. Sometimes we just choke, we say too much, we word vomit Q on people. And so I'm honestly really excited to train on the subject matter because I know it's something every person wants. You come into Q Sciences, you want to grow a business. And before my squirrel brain went off, I was actually just sharing, I was actually really scared of sharing this opportunity with people who were directly in my network. I don't know why, but I was so fearful. I remember my grand opening Zoom, I literally said, please don't talk about the opportunity. Like, could we just skip that part? And then I quickly realized, like, no, I should probably trust my mentor who's making $100,000 a month. And thankfully I did. But guys, like, I understand this brings a lot of anxiety. It brings a lot of feelings, but it's more simple than you think. But before I dig in and really give you guys some, scripts or just, structure to how we recruit all different types of people, because it's not just a one size fits all. How you talk to your friends is one way. How you talk to people who look up to you is another way. How you talk to people who you really look up to them, they're on your chicken list, that's a totally different way. So I'm going to be giving you guys some tangibles on all of that. But there's a couple things I do want to speak to, and that's our demographic. Like, do you guys know what the demographic of Q, not just Q Sciences, do you know the demographic of the industry of network marketing that's actually doing really well? Like, who has Q? Because I found Q Sciences when it wasn't as pretty and sexy as it is now. Like, it was pretty medical and kind of like, yeah, it wasn't cute. I'll tell you that. Yeah, we've like the last 2 years of the who and how the company's evolved to, it's not by accident. Like there's literally a target demographic that we've been gearing everything to. The demographic is an age between 30 and 45. And don't get hung up on it if you don't fit the demographic. I wasn't in the demographic. I finally reached 30, guys. So yeah, the demographic is 30 to 45. It's a demographic of people who do not like to be sold to. I can relate to that. You get someone doing door-to-door sales and it's like, you're on the defense, like, what's going on? Or someone slips in the DM in your inbox and it's like, hey girl, see you own a gym. You want to rep these? Like, nope, don't want to be sold. And a big one that you guys probably now realize when I say this, it's all about taste. Taste trumps anything. And I know we have a lot of people who love the ingredients and the science and all the things, but when you're looking at the demographic to build with, it's that age range. It's the fact that we don't like to be sold, and it's all about the taste and the experience. And so knowing that demographic is actually going to impact how we recruit, how we bring people into this business. But before I give you those tactics and really those scripts, I want to ask you guys a few more questions. Because I know we're all on social media, I hope. And if you're not, that's totally cool. I actually this is probably something that most of you wouldn't believe. I actually was almost gold before I actually went public on social media. Yeah, you can build this business offline, so you don't have to have it. But really my question to you is, you see it on social media. What are people piquing interest around? Is it the products? Is it the company? Is it the comp plan? How are you piquing interest on this business? How are you piquing interest on what you're doing? At the same time, why did you join Q Sciences? Was it for a product? Was it for the company? Was it for a comp plan? Or was it for a person? Was it the person who introduced it to you that you trusted enough to say, well, if you're doing this, if you believe in this, maybe I should give it a shot? Guys, the winner and the ticket is it's always about the people. It's about the people. I came to Q Sciences. I watched this industry for years. I found network marketing when I was 19, and I didn't really build a business. I showed up to a convention. I showed up to trainings. It really changed my mindset. And it's a big reason why I opened a business at the age of 23. But the reason why I found Q Sciences was a person. I kind of had this like thought in my mind about 6 months prior. I said, well, I would really like to do something in the hemp space. I know network marketing works. I've never seen an opportunity that made me want to jump into it. I would love to have a run at it. And this was all internal dialogue. I didn't even like say this to anyone. Like this was all internal. And all of a sudden, I just had this thought, like, watch this person on social media. They're always onto something. They haven't been in the industry in a while. And then they posted, I'm working on something. And I said, what are you working on? Guys, there was not another person in my entire network that I was going to get on a call with and look at an opportunity with. Didn't matter about the products, the comp plan, the people, or should I say like the corporate people. It mattered about who was introducing it to me. I trusted that person in what they were capable with here in this industry. And so it's the people, right? Now, if it's about the people, now my second question to you guys, how many exposures to Q did it take you to join? And when I say exposure, it could be a Zoom, it could have been like a PDF, could have been some conversations. And when I say join, like all in, caught the vision, ready to run, how many exposures? Was it one? No. Guys, most times it takes 8. I'm not like 8. That's a lot. Do you consistently connect with your prospects at least 8 times in the exposure process? Or is it kind of like peak interest, expose, oh, it's not for them, or oh, they're not ready to join, or oh, like there's some sort of like hurdle, there's an objection, and we give up? Because really, if we're looking at what recruiting actually is, if you're thinking it's one exposure, connect, enroll, boom, they're in the business, you've missed it. Like you've missed the mark, because recruiting is not an event. It's not a single transaction. It is a process. And that is something I am so grateful I learned. And literally everything that I'm extending to you guys is what I've learned from Jake Spencer himself. I'll say it, he is my personal mentor. He's someone that I've learned a tremendous amount from in this industry, because really I knew nothing. So I was like, well, I'll just be extra coachable to a person who's made a ton of money and built incredible teams. And I heard this, I think it was last week, and I said, oh my gosh, I've missed the mark. Why does my team not know this? And I was like, well, it's because of me. So here I am giving it to you guys. But I am so thankful that I learned this, that it's not an event, it's not a one-time transaction, it's a process. And it's a process that requires trust. It's a process that requires human connection and belief. And the second someone actually says yes and is willing to take action, it's because their belief has been bumped up a notch. And so going and making kind of that shift from the event, which really is kind of like an amateur level and an amateur kind of approach when it comes to recruiting, and moving it to a process, is how you become a professional here, and how you do start to get people in your business, not just with what you're doing, but an actual system that anyone can do. It shouldn't be complicated. And so I had mentioned, there's multiple people that we're talking to. And so if it's not a one size fits all, like how the heck do you do it? Well, really the umbrella of it all is, if we joined Q, not necessarily for the products, the comp plan, or really the company, and we came here for the people, that's your ingredients. Like that's the secret sauce. That's who you should be recruiting to, are the people that you're working with. It's the hookup, it's the connection. And it's crazy because I know there's people on this call that come to my gym, they work out with us, they train with us. And what's crazy is if I had to ask them, like, hey, how did you get your best friend to come try out Fireside? They would say, well, I talked about, you and Ben, and what a cool place you guys have made and what you guys have created and how much I love. I just love being here. I've learned so much from you guys. And they're like, yeah, well, why don't I come try it out? If you love it, maybe I can find value in it. I didn't have to coach them on that, guys. Think about all the favorite things that we are connecting people to. When we think about referrals, it's like, oh man, I have a friend you got to meet. Guys, this business is no different. And so the first one that I want to speak to is really talking peer-to-peer, because this one I think is the one that we're probably engaging in the most, because most of us are talking our market. They're people that know us, we know them, we're kind of equals, we see eye to eye. They're not necessarily people that we look up to, and they're not people we really have influence and look down to. Like they're really just our peers. And this is the one that, guys, if we can just figure out how to do it, your business will change. Because I know we all jumped the gun. We rushed this process and we're not patient enough to where we do make it weird and we do make it awkward and we don't play it cool, and then we lose it. We lose the chance to really capture their attention. And so it's summertime. I'm sure many of us are getting out and about, and we're probably running into people we haven't seen in a while. And so what do? You go to the water park. Oh, you haven't seen Sarah in a while. catching up with Sarah, she asks you a question. Well, Kate, what are you and Ben up to? I look by the looks of Facebook, you guys are doing something awesome. Is that the time you pique the interest and expose them to Q? What do you guys think? I genuinely want to know. You're probably saying, I'm not even going to answer because it sounds like wrong. Guys, this is the time for you to connect and add value to people. When you are seeing someone for the first time, you haven't spoke to them in a while, this is your time to connect, smile, add value. You do not talk anything about Q Sciences at all, nothing, zero. If they ask questions, you deflect and you ask questions back. So they even bring it up. But by the looks of it, you and Ben are up to some amazing things. What are you guys up to? I see you were in Utah. What was that? Oh, that was just a trip, working with some of our business partners. But tell me, what are you guys up to? How's your little one? How was last year? Guys, people literally have, and this is actually a foundational, like just a principle that Ben and I even, teach to our coaches in our gym. Like all of us, doesn't matter who we are, we all have a sign on our head that says, make me feel special and make me feel important. People want to talk about themselves. So ask questions and literally just take a ton of mental notes about where they're at. Ask about their family. Ask about last year. I think we all have stories around it. And literally fill your pockets with so many reasons of why they need Q Sciences. And every time you feel like, oh, there's one of them, you literally zip it. You don't say a thing. Because here's where the power comes in. Now you have all this reason to reach back out to them. But you don't call them like the second you walk away. You give them a call and you say, hey, Sarah, it was so cool to see you at the water park. But man, there was something you mentioned that I have not been able to stop thinking about. You talked about how, your husband was just, in and out of work, and that, man, it took a backslide on your guys' savings. That's really been weighing on me. And I know this might sound crazy, but I have someone that you need to meet, someone that I want to introduce you to. I've actually known them for a while. They're pretty good at business, and they've been able to help us just last year. I mean, the gym closed. We definitely took a hit, but they've been able to help us create a second stream of income that made last year actually pretty manageable. And with the amount of help they've helped us, with the amount of ways that they've helped us, maybe they can help you. I can't guarantee it, but maybe we can find some time. Does that feel different? Guys, you literally have to take just their pain point, something that they talked about. It could be product related, it could be business related, but you're connecting their reason of why Q without saying why Q, and you're just connecting them to the person who's the solution because they've helped you. It's a simple skill here. And if you guys write this down and have it in your back pocket, I can guarantee you would have more people take a look at this. You would have more people genuinely interested in it because you're genuinely interested in them. And the vehicle is solving a problem that they have. It's not just this, hey, I found this product. Will you try it? No, the product is great, but it's the person who's really the solution. Guys, this is all about people. Okay, so now you've made that connection, right? You've said, I can't guarantee anything, but I might be able to get a hold of them. So now what do? You guys, you have to still play it cool. You can't be rushing back to them or saying, hey, when are you free? Like, you have to go back and say, hey, I'll call you back. You connect with someone that you're working with. It doesn't have to be a ruby, a platinum, a gold. It's someone other than you that you're working with. It could be an executive, elite, a bronze, a silver. and you go back to them and they give you a couple times. And guess what happens? You call them back in about 24 hours. You make them wait. You have to play it cool here, because when there is good news, people are eager to have that news. But you have to give that space. And then when you call them back, you say, look, they only gave me 2 times. They said Monday at 6 or Tuesday at 7. Which one can we make happen? Not which one can you make happen, but which one can we? Because really, it's about the partnership in you guys being able to make the connection to the person who's adding all the value to your family right now. The people who are allowing this business to work for you. Now, I know this probably feels like totally different to what maybe you've done or maybe you've been taught. And I can't even tell you guys, it probably took me about a year and a half to even like wrap my head around it. I'm a slow learner, guys, and if I can learn anything, you can too, but it came with practice. And I don't know why it took so long for this to click, because when it did, I personally have been a decent enroller. I haven't been a great enroller. But looking at just this last year and the recruiting side, especially, I can enroll customers, but ambassadors, that was not as easy. I mean, there were stretches where maybe I brought on 1 person over 3 months. In the last 6 months, and I'm not saying this to brag, it's just a skill set that I've been willing to practice and practice and fail and practice and fail and practice. I brought in 25 new ambassadors in the last 6 months because of this personal connection and the hookup. And what does the hookup mean? You're not inviting them onto a Zoom with 300 people. You're inviting them into a conversation where there's trust, and where there's trust, there's safety. And that prospect's going to talk about things that you would never know if they're on a massive Zoom getting to hear about this expert. So the next connection will be, how many people are actually sitting down and just having an open conversation and confident enough to just present? Are you presenting? I mean, that's like the basic 101 question. Are you presenting? Because if we can have more peer-to-peer conversations making the hookup, all of your businesses are going to go through the roof. They're going to explode. Because that's the personal connection that people are craving right now in and outside of this industry. She may be on this call, but I will never forget what my friend Sarah said when she partnered here with Q. She said, Kate, you just look like you're having so much fun. Like you're always like you're traveling and you're hanging out with people and you're doing all these cool things. Like I want a community like that. Like I want to be a part of something like that. I've watched you for a year, but that's attractive to me. And so guys, this whole process of recruiting can be so simple if we create place and space for people to hear about Q Sciences in a personal way that's going to literally add the value in their exact pain point that they're sitting in. And it might take them a year to partner with you. I would say if I looked on average how long it took from like first exposure to enrollment, I would say maybe 3 months for someone to enroll. And some of you are probably like so discouraged by that. But no, when people actually like go through the process and have belief when they join, they take action. So now your business is growing. And actually some of my favorite people that I brought into the business, it took me over a year. Man, did that take some patience. And I know some of you guys haven't even been here a year. So you haven't even been in this business long enough to even see what's possible, not just for you, but the people who are counting on you to actually stick it out for a year to prove that this actually works. So peer-to-peer. Yes. So kind of like backtracking, making sure once you make the connection, you have that conversation and bam, the exposure set. And guys, I will write this out. I would love to have even like another call, like role playing that, because it's weird at first, but once you can get it, it's really that simple structure. And let me actually, kind of rephrase it quickly. You connect, you ask a lot of questions, you literally find every reason why, like any pain point, their kids, their family, their work, like you literally connect genuinely. People know when you're being fake, so be genuine. And when you make that phone call back, you're going to then be able to say, hey, I know we saw each other at the water park, but there's something that has not stopped running through my head when you were talking about BAN. This may sound crazy, but I have someone you need to meet. They're pretty good in business. They're a big reason why, something that you can relate to. And I can't guarantee it, they're super busy, but if they can make some time, I would love to make that introduction. Hopefully you guys got that all written down, but I'll make a little sheet, but I would love to do some role playing. Second person. This is going to be someone that you have influence over. This is someone that literally looks up to you. And the key when you have influence over someone is it has to be short, it has to be brief, it has to be about 30 seconds, and it has to get right to the point. This is different. This is not where you're building that connection and rapport. No, if they look up to you, they're going to look at something because they respect you, they trust you. And actually, this was, when I was, learning these pieces with Jake, I actually had, probably one of my biggest challenges in the recruiting side for a long time was I thought I had to be this like peer-to-peer with people and like build this rapport and pass it off. And guys, the second I actually understood this, just because of just the position Ben and I are in, we own a business, we have lots of clients, like that's just kind of like our kind of sphere of influence in a way. The second I changed this just slightly, this made a big difference. People were actually open to taking a look versus being like, hey, I found this CBD brand. Oh, we have these hormonal balancing stuff. Guys, I couldn't even like beg my clients to take a look at these products because they don't want to be sold stuff. So if you have influence over them, it's short, it's brief, it's 30 seconds, and it would be something like this. It's like, oh, dang, Kate, you and Ben are doing some really cool stuff. What else are you working on? What do you do? And I would say something along the lines of, well, honestly, it's not really what I do, but it's who I work with. I honestly can't guarantee you anything because they're pretty dang good at business and they've been teaching us so much about creating an extra stream of income outside of the gym from home. I might be able to get a second of their time. It'd be crazy, but if I can make the hookup, it would be definitely worth a listen, whether if it's for you or not. Then you hang up, get some times, and you offer it and like, hey, they only have this time. Can you make it work? So when you have influence over someone, guys, it's a totally different ballgame. You don't have to play it cool. It's all about posture and it's all about excitement. And that's another piece. If you're not excited and when you're talking to people and having these conversations, and you'll even ask Ben, I hated the talking part when I joined Q, but you have to get over it. If the talking piece scares you, like it did for me, like I literally would stare at my phone. I'd be like, I have to call them. I have to call them. I have to call them. Like then, and I would like practice what I was going to say like 5 times before I called. So I sounded confident. If that's you right now, good job. You're doing it. I'm proud of you. Like it's what it takes to refine the skill to actually get good at it. I would have never been talking on a Zoom with 60 people looking at me. This business requires your voice. Your voice has power to impact people. Use it. Okay, the third person. This is someone that you look up to. And I know we all have these people. We have the chicken list. Guys, these are the ones you should be going after. If they intimidate you, it's for a reason. And they really are the ones that you want to take a look at Q. You always want to be recruiting up in this business, always. And so there's actually two approaches when it comes to people you look up to. Now, mind you, if someone is very business minded, they're probably super busy. And if you look up to them, they want to get right to the point. So there's no rapport. Hey, how was summer? How's the kids? Oh man, how was COVID? Like, you literally get down to business. You get to the point. And so the first way to approach them would be something like this. And so if I was calling someone up, hey, Sarah, this is Catie. I know you're super busy. This is a business call. I'm sure you've heard a lot about health, supplementation, hemp in the world. And I actually have someone who is expanding it around the world, and they're doing super well. They're doing very well. And they're actually on your level, which is why I thought of you. I think the two of you could really collaborate with what you both bring to the table, and could be a great match. Are you open to making some money? When you're talking to people who are influential, business-minded, they like to make money, folks. Ask them. And actually, I hope he's on the call, Jared. He's doing a lot of cold market. There's not a right or wrong way to do this business. He's really mastering that. I can ask him how many times a day he asks that question on LinkedIn, mind you, and how many responses he's getting back. He's talking to business owners, folks. And when he asks the questions, are you open to making money? Most business owners are. And so that's one way to approach it. Make the connection, collaboration, connection. Or another way to approach someone that you look up to is the opinion. And this might be if you're a little nervous, and it's okay to be nervous. I've been there. And so when it comes to people that maybe you look up to and you're a little bit nervous, this is how you could approach them on the opinion side. And so it'd be like, hey, Sarah, I know you're running a business, but guess what? I'm actually finally running my own because I found someone who could teach me, who is also super successful. But hey, I actually need a massive favor. We're expanding it, and they're helping me really head up the expansion here in Boise. I would honestly love for you to do me a favor and take a look at what we're doing and maybe point me in a direction of some people who you think would be a good fit for what we're onto. There may be some income potential too, if it's something that you can align with, or if it's something you see value with. Sure. Guys, I have people reach out to me all the time asking like, hey, could you take a look at something? Hey, I love giving to people as a business owner. I feel like if I kept all my secrets to myself, like that's not the point. Like, I learned because people gave me time. I would give someone 20 minutes. I would give someone 30 minutes. I would have them I would take a look at anything. If someone said, hey, could you do me a favor and help me? Could you do me a favor and validate this for me? Don't be scared of the people on your chicken list, guys, because you don't know what people see value in. Okay, so that should cover the 3. Now, I like to keep trainings around that 30 minutes, but I do want to just kind of touch on sampling when it comes to these 3, because I had this question, and some of you might be on the call right now. The question is like, how do you sample product? Like how do you sample it? Like, when do you use it? Is it like part of the peak? Is it the exposure? And guys, I've been caught in the trap. And so if we're looking, let's kind of backtrack. If we're looking at, okay, we peak interest and really make the connection, and we're the hookup to the people, and we're approaching in the way that I just mentioned, you sample as a piece of the exposure process to validate what you're doing. And anytime I've ever tried to lead with the product and pique interest on the product, do you think those people, especially if they don't know anything about Q, I rarely have been able to turn around from experiencing product because I mailed it to them. I mean, it'd be different if, hey, it was casual, like, hey, oh, your energy sucks. Like, try this sport. Hence Johnny May. That's how I met Johnny May, guys. Led to a explosion here. Majority of you guys are a reason because I handed someone a sport in a gym. So sampling is huge. But if you're trying to like pique interest, like, hey, I just got 30 samples of, Q Twist. Who wants one? Give product to people who've taken time and actually, seen your business. Like I said, I've never really converted the other way around where they get the sample and it's like, hey, how did you like it? Oh, I loved it. Okay, then it's like, what's next? Yeah, you can connect them to a Zoom and there is a roundabout way, but really to me, sampling done right is when you're investing in people. And some of you are going to be like, this chick is crazy. Sampling whole products. And I know some of you guys are like, I'm brand new. Like, that's crazy. Any person that I've invested whole products in, guys, even when we were early in Q, that was an investment in a person. And they've given me their time. And we've had conversations, and majority of them either enrolled as customers or business partners at some point. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of saying, hey, I know we're talking about the business and you just are like caught up on that whole, like, I don't know if I can get behind these products. I mean, it looks great. I know you're talking about that back pain. Why don't you try this Align for 30 days? Tell me how you feel. That's the power in these products, guys. Now you're not only giving them a true taste, but you're investing in them. They trust you more. And so be selective. Like, there's obviously a filter process of how you get those big products. Obviously, I'm not mailing someone like 30 sticks of sport. I love the sport because you can kind of like mix and match and say, hey, try this, but taste this, taste this, taste this, taste this. But don't feel like you have to, do sampling in a way you have to reach the masses. Like, be selective in who you're giving those samples to, especially if they're people who've been connected to someone, truly had the conversations. They're part of that follow-up process, because that builds a lot of trust and it makes people happy. Like, who doesn't like getting some things in the mail and knowing that it's like unsealed and like ready to be used for you? And so that was something I've learned from Jake too. And so guys, I wish I was Jake Spencer telling me this to you guys, but I'm just a carrier of the information. But I do look forward to, just passing on all these nuggets, these resources. If you guys are loving the value that's being given here, I would be happy to even do another topic next Thursday, same time, same place, because the next Thursday I'm going to be living it up in Hawaii. It's our first like real family vacation with my parents ever, which I'm so excited about. So it won't be the next Thursday, but love to do a topic on one of these, key skill sets. We'll get this recording up. But you guys are so welcome. I'll get those scripts together too, but definitely would be open to even doing some dialogue and role playing. And it sounds cheesy and it sounds weird. It's so weird and scary, but I'm not even kidding you. Watching people in action around some of these scripts, I learned so much, like so much. It actually was a big reason why I was inspired to do this. It clicked on how I could actually teach it to you guys. And I know it's going to click for you when you see it in action of like what you do and maybe how it changes when you hear the dialogue and you see the difference. And so you guys are so welcome. I'll get another flyer out. I'll get some of these scripts out. And guys, let's keep crushing it. This is the month to be paddling. And my last plug, get your dang ticket to convention. If you haven't got it, the event changed everything for me. And I wasn't a big, crazy leader. I didn't have a massive team. I showed up with my husband. It's our first event. It's just us. And it changed everything. I know what's coming in September. I don't know everything. I try and like ask a lot of questions because I like to be nosy so I can like spread some secrets to you guys. But you want to be in that room when things are released, and you want a handful of people on your team if possible. And if not, I've been there. I've been the only one on my team before. But get your booty, get your cheek in the seat. Sean, that one's for you. Get your cheeks in the seats. Guys, soak it up. I can't even like explain to you what conventions even feel like, but it will be worth every penny. And if it's not, I'll refund you. That's a bold statement, but I'll refund you. I've actually never had anyone take me up on that. So hopefully you're not like a real bad egg and negative Nancy, but I would refund you. Like, that's how much I believe in this. Mindy, she's coming from Guam, folks. People are dropping like $1,800 on a plane ticket just to get to Dallas. If you're in the US, I know Canada's like another story. But if you're in the US, get your cheek in a seat. You will not regret it. And I want to see you guys. And so take care. Have a great week. And yeah, let's take charge. Let's do it. Bye, guys.